All hell continues to break loose on the streets across the United States as Trump unleashes his Gestapo, his ICE agents, his Border Patrol agents. But folks, the people are standing up and resisting. Courageous citizen journalists are catching this all on tape and exposing what the Trump regime is doing. I want to bring you right now to Key Largo, Florida, where the ICE Gestapo detained a U.S. citizen woman driving to work dressed in her full medical scrubs. You'll hear her shouting, "I'm a U.S. citizen, please help me." She cries, "Why are you doing this to me?" They drag the woman out. You'll see them with their assault rifles. They tackle her to the ground. They check her driver's license. She's a citizen. And then they eventually release her after brutalizing her. And the DHS said, yeah, you know, she refused to submit, so we had to do this to her. Here, play this clip. Take you now to Kenner, Louisiana. We've seen a lot of massive ICE activity in recent days in New Orleans and throughout Louisiana as their governor there said, "Come on, Donald, go and invade Louisiana." So I'll just show you what they're doing. They're going street to street, suburb cities, it doesn't matter. And they're trapping workers, construction workers, roofers. Let me show you what happens here as ICE traps a group of roofers on top of a suburban home, pointing multiple guns at them in front of children. And agents shut down the entire job site, leaving a hole in the roof. The contractors confirmed that the employees had work visas while all of this was taking place. They're chasing people. You'll see them. They have these weapons of war. Watch what happens here. Play this clip. Bájalo. Eso es un asalto. Te voy a disparar. Es un asalto. Bájate. Got one coming down. ¡Chavo! ¡Hey! 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 ¡Suelta eso! ¡Hey! 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 ¿Estás oyendo? ¡Suelta eso! ¡Hey! 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 Now I'm going to bring you to Riverside, California right here, where ICE attacks a victim of sexual assault. This is really despicable behavior by ICE. Let me show you what goes down here. And people are screaming, "What are you doing?" She's trying to go to court. She's a victim of sexual assault. And then ICE continues to brutalize her, assaulting her even more. Watch how despicable this is. Here, play this clip.
I got him right here.
He's harassing and assaulting.
Bro, why you grabbing her so fucking tight? You're a big ass fucking man. You can't hold her.
She's a victim of sexual assault, and you're arresting her and doing that for her.
Fucking piece of shit, dude. What a piece of shit, dog.
Just show you the local news coverage about what they did in Louisiana at that roofer, at that job with the roofers. And again, they're just destroying the American economy while they're engaged in these Nazi-like tactics. Here, play this clip.
We're in Kenner on Marquette Street and Louisiana State. And I spoke with the homeowner of the home who was not here at the time when this raid began. She was at work and she said her phone started to blow up around 1 o'clock. She got here about 1:20 and was told she was getting a roof replaced. And this is from Francine. She was told that 2 or so people were detained and taken away. But the whole job had to stop because the people that were on the roof, the ICE agents were trying to figure out if they were had a legal status. She was under the impression, based on her contractor, that these employees all had their visas. Apparently, she heard from one of the workers' immigration attorney who was on scene that They all had visas, and I think that ICE was looking for one or so people. She was told that about 2 people were taken from here, but that ICE told that immigration lawyer that all the people that were working had to be off of the property. She's very upset because this work, it's been almost, when was Francine? A long time ago. So she wanted to get this home fixed, and the roof was her first major project to start getting that done. And they started around 6 o'clock this morning, she says. So she was, she's confused. She says she's upset. She says because this work got stopped, but also more so, she says she works with a lot of children, and there's been a lot of fear just at the school, in the neighborhood, kids concerned about their parents because their parents are scared.
Take a look right here. I'll just show you the presence of federal border agents roaming through, patrolling like they're like the Gestapo, the streets of New Orleans. Here, take a look at this clip right here. Just utterly despicable conduct. Let me share this story with you. When ICE detained a 2nd grade student traveling home to visit their family for Thanksgiving, a 7-year-old boy and his mother were kidnapped in Illinois, immediately transported to Texas, and locked up 1,000 miles away from home. Here, play this clip.
A student from the Winooski School District who was detained by U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement.
Superintendent Wilmer Chavarria says that the 2nd grader didn't show up for school on Monday, and when his teachers called his father, he said he had no idea where his son was. That's when they learned that the student and his mother were both detained.
So they're right now in Texas in a detention facility. We're not able to communicate with them. We've been trying our best, and we managed to get across and finally speak with the mother for a few seconds before the call got dropped. But at least we know we were able to confirm verbally that the mother is there. The mother is with the child in Texas. And we don't know what exactly the plans are for them.
Chavarria says that the student and his mother were driving to visit family in Minnesota for Thanksgiving. They made it to Illinois before they were detained. It's not clear why they were stopped and taken into custody. And as you heard, they're now being held at a detention facility in Texas. Chavarria also says that the boy's father was applying for asylum in the U.S. We reached out to Customs and Border Protection for comment, and we're still waiting to hear back.
Now, this next video I'm going to share with you, you'll see ICE detaining a U.S. citizen after refusing to look at his passport. They keep him locked up in jail overnight, and then they blame the citizen for not having his papers on them. What a despicable regime this is. Here, play this clip.
Kind of traumatized a little bit, you know.
A Northwest Arkansas man says he had just driven a colleague home when he was stopped by an area police officer for taillights that were not working. He says the officer discovered he had prior traffic offenses that hadn't been taken care of. So he says he was then taken to the Benton County Jail to be booked and expected to be released immediately. However, he says Benton County discovered an ICE hold on him, and he ended up staying in the county jail overnight. He says it was tough not knowing what to expect next.
Try to stay calm. You know, be kind to the people that are doing this to you. You know, show them that you can do it. Stay strong.
He says it wasn't until the next morning that ICE picked him up from the Benton County Jail and took him to an ICE office in Fayetteville. He says he was only there about 30 minutes before he was released.
Now that I know that this can happen to me, I am kind of leery, and now I want to carry more documentation with me so that way they don't have an excuse to say that I don't have proof.
Immigration attorney Aaron Cash was contacted to represent the man. Cash says once immigration authorities reviewed his client's passport, proving his citizenship, he was then released. Cash says it was acknowledged by law enforcement that his client is a U.S. citizen.
You know, in 2025, I'm not sure exactly how that could happen. You know, before the internet, before computer systems, I could see how that may not reflect somewhere. But, you know, you would think that that would all be in one central location, but apparently it's sort of separated out. The Department of State does issue passports, and of course, ICE is not under that, and so maybe there's some disconnect there. But he is a U.S. citizen.
Cash's client says he wishes he didn't have to think about the possibility of carrying his passport and documentation with him at all times.
It makes me feel like I'm not a regular human being. That I have to, basically have a dog collar on me to present myself as a human being.
We have calls into the law enforcement agencies involved in this particular case to find out more about the ICE hold and why it was in place. We're still waiting on calls back from some of those agencies, but we can tell you an ICE spokesperson told us they will look into it. We'll update you with more just as soon as we learn more. Brandon.
And next, I'll give you this story about ICE agents, and they're constantly getting into these DUI incidents. ICE agent launches their car 15 feet up in the air, crashing into a second floor of a building. The agent had signs of impairment. His 3 Series BMW car was still stuck and hanging halfway out the wall. Woman passenger was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. Let me show you what went down here.
It's hard to believe that everyone was okay after this. Take a look. That's a car hanging out of a building. State police say early Sunday morning, a driver went off the road, hitting one building, and then went into the gable end of another. The driver, 45-year-old Eric McCarthy, was arrested for DUI and negligent operation. He was later released with a citation to appear in court in January.
Channel 3's Lucy Kale was at the scene today as business owners picked up the mess.
The car hit the porch of this building, then narrowly missed crashing into this tree, then would have had to have enough speed to go over here and fly into the second story of this building over here. Power tools, wooden slabs, and helping hands to repair these 2 buildings in Waitsfield. State police say just before 1 a.m. Sunday, an Essex man drove off the road and hit a part of a building and then continued straight through the wall of another.
And it was probably at least a 15-foot gap, it looks like, so it's pretty crazy.
Contractors hard at work Monday to secure the rest of the second floor. Alex Starr and his dad, David, own a computer services store in this building.
I heard a loud crash outside, and it sounded kind of like thunder. And then I didn't think much of it until I saw flashing red lights that were outside of my window. And then I came out and I saw all this devastation out here.
David Darr says they have some work to do to safely reopen.
I talked to the fire marshal. He basically said, as long as I make it safe up front so nobody tries to climb up on the porch and that nobody can fall off the porch, then we can open up. We're just going to do some well-needed cleaning.
Darr says this isn't the first time a car caused damage in the area. He says someone hit a telephone pole several years ago, and others say people tend to drive too fast on the road. They think they can open the part of the building that wasn't damaged on Tuesday, and then they're just waiting to hear from insurance, both from the driver and their own insurance, about how to pay for all of this. Reporting in Waitsfield, Lucy Kale, Channel 3 News.
And I'm sure by now you probably have also heard about what went down with Sabrina Carpenter, the pop star who ICE stole, the Trump regime, the White House, stole her music so they can make one of their terrorist propaganda videos. And she just said, look, this video is evil and disgusting. Don't involve me or my music to benefit your inhumane agenda to mock migrants. What the hell are you doing? And then the White House is like, well, we're going to do whatever the hell we want. Sabrina Carpenter's post ended up getting close to 200 million views and counting after the despicable behavior by the Trump Gestapo here. And then finally, I'll just show you this one other incident too involving the ICE Gestapo. Let's play it.
No es un delincuente. No es un delincuente. ¿Por qué son así? No seas basura. Papi, relájate, papi. Papi, relájate. Papi, relájate, papi. Relájate. ¡Ey! No nos trates así. No nos trates.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Awful, awful, despicable conduct by these ICE agents. I want to know what you think, though. Share these videos. We have to get the word out of what's happening in our country. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Hey Midas Mighty, it's Ben, Brett, and Jordy, and we just want to thank you for being the backbone of this movement.
This year tested us more than ever, but together we proved that pro-democracy voices don't just compete, we win.
We took on the entire MAGA machine, won a Webby for Podcast of the Year,
the MeidasTouch podcast,
and you were with us every step of the way.
And trust us, what we're working on next is bigger, bolder, and built for 2026.
Let's keep this momentum going, spread the word, we are just getting started.
Shout out to the Midas Mighty!